Clayman and David Asman.
All right, we want Charlie to stick around, but we also want to bring in Mike Norman. He's chief economist at John Thompson Financial, who says NASDAQ ICE will be blowing a huge money on the deal if it goes through. And the question that I hear so often, why pay so much for something that may be close to obsolete?
It's basically a server, right? I mean, everything's electronic now. You're paying $11 billion for a server, not even a big one. Look, listen, okay, the brand, but exchanges are a dying business model. Look, I worked on 4 of them, okay? I was a member of 4 of them. I mean, it's a dying business model, and if you don't think so, take a look at CME, the largest exchange. I mean, they now have to, apply political pressure through lobbying to try to fashion policies so that instruments are traded through them. Because the fact of the matter is, most things are traded OTC, over the counter nowadays, outside of the exchanges. Exchanges.
Why would somebody pay $11 billion for something that you say is obsolete?
A bad business
Charlie,
decision,
go ahead.
I think.
Why would someone pay $9 billion? I mean, the Deutsche Börse, the Frankfurt Exchange, known as the Deutsche Börse, is paying $9.5 billion. There is some value here.
Charlie.
There's value in a brand. Clearly, there is some value in the listings. Now, they do other stuff here. Obviously, they have trading portals. They have some derivative business. They have ways to make this thing work. So they see some value in this. Listen, what do I know? I'm just a simple country reporter. I just follow the bouncing ball. The ball is bouncing right now, and it's $11 billion. And by the way, by the time this thing is over, it's going to be probably 13. And I will say, Mike looks very lonely there, sitting by himself without me.
Yeah, I was ready for our SmackDown. Charlie, let me ask you this. Why does, and we heard this before, why is the NYSE still so committed to the Deutsche Börse? I mean, what do they see there in terms of the synergy, in terms of that partnership?
Well, listen, they don't have overlapping businesses. It's pretty clear. I will tell you this. If you want to be a real cynic here, if you want to hear what Bob Greifeld, the CEO of the NASDAQ, is saying, is that Duncan Niederauer is committed to this deal because this deal saves his scalp. Basically, he sold the New York Stock Exchange for a deal that's valued at $35 a share. The market, an analyst consensus was saying it's a $38 a share stock, and he's so cheap because he gets to keep his job. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's true, but I see logic in that. By the way, where did the deal end up today? Something like $40 a share, $39 a share. Can we get a price chart on this? Does anybody have the price of NYX?
Look, I think Charlie's exactly right. That Niederauer saved himself.
Almost 40. It's pretty interesting.
In the sale of this, they're the ones who are selling off. Their shareholders, I think, are going to benefit. The shareholders on the other side of the transaction, however, like I said, I'm a skeptic. I think
the one thing that went down was the ICE. Okay, their stock was down about 3%, ICE. They're very focused, Charlie, on doing this, or are they not? I don't know. I talked to my sources. They said, hey, we'll up the bid. Jeff Sprecher is the guy who's founded this. He's got deep pockets. He's a billionaire. This is something he wants to do.
Well, listen, if you look at the deal itself, what's interesting about the deal itself is that they left a lot of wiggle room for an increased bid, if you kind of look at the sort of numbers. Dick Rousseau kind of walked me through this, the former CEO of the New York Stock Exchange, and what he said was, look at how Sprecher, the CEO of the ICE, and look how they kind of divvy things up and are agreeing to pay for this thing. They're basically saying, listen, we're only financing. It's $11.3 billion deal. They're financing, and Mike knows about this stuff because he deals with this stuff all the time. They're financing just a sliver of that, or just a small piece of this, about $3 billion. That means they can go out and get additional financing to up their bid. Now, they won't do that because they'd be bidding against themselves. They're going to wait for the Deutsche Börse to come in and do it.
Yeah, well,
but
obviously,
guys, this is inning number 2, maybe.
And that's why I think he spoke out and said we're committed to the Deutsche Börse transaction because they want them to come to the table with a higher bid. So,
well, that's where the market is saying it's coming with a higher bid. I wish I was smacking down with Mike today, but we both seem to agree. I can't believe we found something to agree on.
Sometimes there's a truth that you both agree on.
Flying today.
Mike Norman, Charlie Gasparino, thank you guys. More to come right here on Bulls and Bears.